Hi, my name is Philip Mörke from Mörke's Music Factory and thanks for tuning in. Today it's basically all about a downward moving major scale with a simple 2-5-1 at the end. This is called a descending bassline progression. Descending bassline progressions are popular with songwriters to create a romantic mood. Some of the best popular music of the last century were written around a descending bassline progression. At the end of this video, you will have quite a few effective examples that you can use as a foundation and starting point for your own compositions. To each bass note, we can add one of the three basic chords: tonic, subdominant, or dominant with the right hand. This results in the following possibilities. If you spend some time trying out the various possibilities, you'll find that not every triad is suitable for some bass notes. Therefore, the following realistic combinations remain for common pop music. Here are two examples that belong to the standard repertoire. But enough of theory. Let's now turn to practice and examine some famous examples of descending bassline progressions. I would like to start with the simplest and most striking version. Naina Simone with her super hit "My Baby Just Cares for Me." Transferred to our roadmap, the piece looks simplified as follows. The chord progression of the next musical examples may not be immediately obvious at first glance due to the fast tempo. However, it is exactly the same descending bassline progression as the previous piece. And again, transferred to our roadmap, the piece looks like this. The next musical example is almost identical harmonically, except that the 2-5 cadence at the end is slightly altered. And by the way, the recording is in E-flat major and the sheet music is in G major. Well, that's a nice transposition exercise after all. Good luck.
I knew a man, Bojangles, and he danced for you in worn-out shoes, with silver hair, a ragged shirt, and baggy pants. He would do the old soft shoe.
Transferred to our roadmap, the piece looks like this. The next example is again very famous. It uses the descending bassline progression for the first 4 chords, but the 6th degree is now actually played diatonically correct as a minor chord. Transferred to our roadmap, the piece looks simplified as follows. The next example is also very well known. 2 chord substitutions are used, and the bass line also breaks our nice rule. Oh, and by the way, we may transpose again. 1 whole tone lower to D flat major. And you know, transferred to C major, the whole thing looks like this. The next example, which we already heard at the beginning of the video, breaks all the rules. Left hand should play descending scales with 2-5-1 cadence at the end, and the right hand should accompany exclusively with the 3 basic chords, tonic, subdominant and dominant. And despite the rule violations, the piece sounds timelessly good. I would say very good, unbelievable good. Transfer to the roadmap, you know what's coming. Another composer who didn't follow the rule was Mr. Billy Joel. He even dared to add a double dominant to our beautiful bass line. Come on. But listen, transfer to our roadmap, the piece looks simplified as follows. The diatonic bass line can be extended with additional non-diatonic notes. A great example of this is the track How Am I Supposed to Live Without You by Michael Bolton, where an additional non-diatonic bass note is inserted. I call the lowered 6th degree the so-called seducer chord, or a very effective composer's tool.
Said you were leaving.
and hear the whole thing in C major simplified with our roadmap. The diatonic bass line can be extended with even more non-diatonic notes. A wonderful example is by the songwriter Buffy St. Marie with her track Until It's Time for You to Go. I have to admit, I didn't even know the song before the research of this video, but the song has been infinitely covered and is a world hit.
You're not a dream, you're not an angel, you're a man. And I'm not a queen, I'm a woman, take my hand. We'll make a space in the lives that we planned, and here we'll stay until it's time for you to go.
Transferred to the roadmap, the piece looks simplified as follows. Like Buffy St. Marie, also Lionel Richie used the lowered 7th degree for harmonic romantic purposes. And like Buffy, he changed the descending bass line towards the
Yes,
end.
you once, twice, 3 times a lady, and I love you. I love you.
Again, transferred to our roadmap in C, the piece looks like this. My personal favorite example is the piece I Believe in You and Me by the Four Tops, made famous by the movie The Preacher's Wife with Whitney Houston. The chord progression breaks all the rules, but you can still see how the composition was originally constructed. Again, transferred to the roadmap. With these examples discussed here, you now have a tool at hand to create super sounding chord progressions yourself. Here's a list of all the possibilities discussed. And remember, rules are made to be broken. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and get new content every week. Thank you.